Give me a good bullshit story.
Oh, well, here we go then. The word of the week is Octogenarians. Ronda Rousey has brought up that her feud with Liv Morgan last year was hamstrung by a bunch of octogenarians who still think they know how to be hip while putting less than 5 minutes of thought a week into each woman's storyline. Now, you'll probably remember from last year from watching SmackDown and a couple of matches and promos and all that kind of thing, Ronda and Liv Morgan. Do you think that's a fair criticism? There's not even any octogenarians in WWE.
No. Well, first of all, that's ageist. Ageist. It's an ageist statement. First of all, Ronda Rousey needs to learn the business too. Liv Morgan needs to learn it too. And the reason I say that is because they've been exposed to one system, and that was the WWE system. Now, guys like me, I bring up my old buddy Ric Flair, and Arn Anderson and the people we talked about that's been around before. See, I was brought up under a lot of different systems, different bookers, different techniques, different maneuvers, different style, different reasoning, thinking. See, I was raised in the Tennessee style, the Georgia style, the Alabama, Mississippi, Texas style, Florida style. But Ronda Rousey was brought in under the WWE style, and Liv Morgan too. So they just know that system. And the system is, how you conduct yourself, how you do this, how you do. And it doesn't mean it's right. Okay, let me take you back to the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Do you know what a bill is?
It's almost like a hip toss, a throw, isn't it?
It is a running hip toss is what it is. But they teach it down there is you hook your hands, and I may have said this before here.
Mm-hmm.
They hook their hands under here, and you can't go anywhere. And it hurts like hell when they do it. And then when you land on your hip and you spin. And the first time I did it, the old veteran backed me up in the corner and slapped the living crap out of me. And I didn't know what it was for. So I got in the back, and I was expecting for this veteran to just punch me. And I went back, and he says, and I'm looking at him, he said, "Who taught you that?" And I said, "Nobody." And nobody did teach me. I just saw it done. And I thought that was the way you did it. He said, "No. When you're going to build somebody on the corner, you put your arm all the way underneath their arm here. And that's so when they leave his feet, now you can push the guy. That's how the guy gets distance. That's how he gets height." But then brought up under that said, as far as the octogenarians, that's like an 80-year-old person. Well, that was an insult for the older people. But it also means she's knocking the people. Literally criticizing them to their face. Because telling them they don't know what to do when she basically doesn't even know what to do. See, I'm not I'm a Ronda Rousey fan to a point, and she has one match, and that's about it. I don't think she uses any type of reasoning or thinking process. It's physical acting is what this is, and she come from the MMA world, the shoot fighting world. And she found out you can make a lot more money in pro wrestling than you could probably make in MMA. And her claim to fame is she beat two women back to back like champions. Then she went up against a puncher. She had a ground game. When she'd take them down, she had them. Mm-hmm. But if you don't go down, and there's Holly Holm in the first round, I think, tagged her, and she's got the glass jaw anyway. Down she went. She didn't get up. And I don't think she ever recovered from that. But anyway, for her to actively knock the people that she's working for, I think we have the inmates trying to run the asylum again, but it's not going to work in WWE, not under Triple H.
Mhm.
He will cut that, and he won't forget it either. Now, and she's complaining that the girl's only getting 3 minutes.
Well, 3
Believe me,
minutes
they-
of thought, 3 minutes of thought into their storylines, or 5 minutes of thought, to quote exactly, of thought in their storylines every week.
Well, can she think? Can she think? That's what I'm saying. Does she have something better? Listen, if you don't like your story, go in there and tell them why you don't like the story. And they didn't give them more time because, to me, if I'm watching a WWE girls match right now, I lose interest in the first 5 minutes. That's probably why they're ending it in 5 minutes, because I lose interest in it. Now, you're talking about the girls. I think AEW has a better women's roster now than WWE does. And they go back and forth. But we'll see. But I don't think that's a good career move for Miss Rousey to lock the people that she works for and are booking her. So she needs to temper that tongue just a little bit. You like that word, temper?
Yeah, no, it's a fine word to put in. I'm going to give you a couple of other things, actually. Apparently, this only came yesterday. I didn't even put it in the script. Is that she had pitched a sort of hardcore match with thumbtacks and such with Liv Morgan that was turned down. And I think that was one of her complaints, that, you know, the octogenarians don't know what's cool. And her idea was thumbtacks and hardcore stuff, and basically doing what FMW or Mick Foley was. And also, Vince McMahon wasn't really with the company. He was the oldest person in the company. He was 77. And a couple of weeks into Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan, Vince McMahon left, and then it was Triple H in charge. And then we was trying to think who else would even be pushing 70. Bruce Pritchard, Michael Hayes, someone like that, but that's it.
Well, okay, she pitched a match about thumbtacks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I'm not a strong believer in that hardcore stuff, because at one point, hardcore took over wrestling. Listen, if it was only hardcore that you needed to be a wrestler, you could walk into any bar in any town, in any city in the United States, any night of the week, and find somebody and teach them probably in 20 minutes how to have a hardcore match if they wanted to do it. It takes no talent. How much talent does it take to hit somebody with a chair? Not much. Now, it takes talent to keep them knocking their heads off. And and you got to catch this chair. And see, Mick Foley used to have a thing. He said, "Oh, I never catch the chair." Yeah, you do. You catch it on your head, buddy. But I always hated hardcore. I always hated that. And as far as girls and females going through tax, I wouldn't want to see that myself. I don't think the little kids out there and the little girls that are watching these ladies and maybe aspiring to be them one day, saying, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do that," because there is no way to fake a tack going in your back. I don't know how they do that. Because if you even looked at me with a tack and wanted to stick it in me, we'd have a fight. Nothing sharp. It's going into my body. That's why, like, when I get a shot in needles, I can't take that. Like when the doctor is going to put the needle shot in, I'm going, I embarrass myself. Even doctors have looked at me and said, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing. It's a long story. It is a long story." But I don't think the people want to see the hardcore matches or the blood or anything like that. Leave it to the guys that know how to do this and don't mind doing it. And as far as a whole card, say a whole pay-per-view built on hardcore, they wear it out. I mean, it's like listening to a band that played the same type song every song. If you see it in the first match, and if the second match does it in the third, what is the main event going to do? Take a bulldozer and people in it and push them into the back? I mean, that's the only way they could top that. But anyway, I think Ronda Rousey's way out of line, way out of turn. And yeah, they could probably come up with some more stuff, but I don't think Ronda Rousey is advanced enough in her pro career. I'm not talking about her amateur career. I don't think she's advanced enough in her pro career to even offer an opinion, really.